Hey everybody, hope you had a great weekend. Didn't get too cold playing in all the snow we had. Maybe caught some of the football game. I also hope you took time to read through chapters 4 and 5, as that's what this presentation and the next presentation are going to go through. And we're going to apply all of this stuff when we see each other in class on Wednesday. So this is part 1 of a presentation, and I'll need you to complete both parts 1 and 2 before we see each other on Wednesday. This presentation going to do a quick review of the chapters so far, including 4 and 5, and then I'll take a few minutes and run through chapter 4 on this presentation and then chapter 5 on the next presentation. So let's take a real quick quiz and see what you remember from these first 5 chapters. And it's all on crap. Here you go. First question, all you need to do is identify which element of crap, contrast, repetition, alignment, proximity, matches the description. The first one, visual connection of elements. That, of course, is alignment, and you knew that, right? The next statement, visual elements that help to develop organization and unity. Which element is that? That, of course, is repetition. And then next, this is often most important to the overall appeal of the design. And that definition matches up with the concept of contrast. And last but not least, this one organizes information, reduces clutter, and creates structure. And that, of course, is the last element of crap, and that is proximity. All right, let's keep moving, and we'll get into chapter 4. Chapter 4 is all about repetition and how to use repetition to create a very cohesive and consistent piece of design. There's the definition. Repeat some aspect of the design throughout the entire piece. There's a number of things that you can repeat in your designs, but a few of the really helpful ones would be any graphics that you use. And although you may not repeat the exact same graphic, keeping the style of the graphic consistent or the style of pictures you use. Example, you wouldn't use a cartoon graphic and try and match it up with a photograph because the style of the graphics are too different. Okay, so that's something that you can think about. Also, the use of lines and the font that you choose, the design of your bullets, and of course you'll have a color scheme that you'll want to repeat through all of the various pieces. You'll notice in this PowerPoint presentation I've used repetition. It's a little too far out there, but I was trying to just make a point. On every frame or every slide, you'll see the same picture of the ocean. You'll see the same type of bullets. The font is repeated, and the concept or the whole idea of ocean or the seaside is repeated consciously on every page. A reminder that the use of headings and subheadings, which we've already talked about in proximity, it becomes very important in terms of keeping the same style throughout your document. Remember, we could be doing not only a single page flyer, but also perhaps doing a newsletter or perhaps a PowerPoint presentation, or even setting up a web page or a Facebook page for your company or something like that. These concepts go for all of them. This is just a reminder to take a look at page 53 and notice different ways that you can use headings and subheadings in a consistent way. Again, this becomes really important as you're doing multiple page publications such as newsletters or web pages, etc. make sure you take a look at pages 54 to 55 and just be conscious of how they're using not only alignment and proximity, but also repetition. You will notice on page 56 the business package and the unique way that it is set up to draw attention, and just the use again of alignment and proximity, and then their repeated elements such as the font and the lines on the page and so on. With this piece, this slide, there's an effort here to create unity and to see that it is, being repeated. So we've got 2 columns, and you'll notice that one of the columns, this one here on the left, I'm using a right alignment, and then the column on the right-hand side using a left alignment, and that creates a center line down the page. The other piece here is you've got one box of text, and then on the other side, the box is a combination of text and graphics, but they appear to be repeating each other in terms of size, not what's in the box. Again, you can use various little elements within your designs to make them specific to your target market, and to keep them a little bit, or not a little bit, but a lot unique, because that's what's going to attract people to your design work. Okay, and this is an example of what not to do. You'll notice that the page looks very cluttered, very busy, and heck, just not attractive. The overuse of any element will just be distracting and will not be effective. So the fish on the top, the right, the left, across the bottom, the shells down the middle, all of those things are just too overdone. Be sure and pause this presentation and take the time to run through pages 58 to 63. There's some really good examples of proximity and alignment, but what we're looking at in this one, those elements of repetition and how to make your pieces more effective. So in summary, repetition helps to really strengthen the visual aspect of all of your design pieces and pulls everything together so that we know it is one document. Okay? So this is the end of part 1, and you will also find a link to a similar presentation on chapter 5.